Hey, Roger Martin here from Billings, Montana. Good day. You can say what you want about Steve Bannon, but I really like him. He's sharp, and he brings in viewpoints that a lot of people don't have.
He expected acquittal. He will deliver the State of the Union Tuesday night. Joining me right now is former White House Chief Strategist Steve Bannon. And Steve, it is always a pleasure to see you. Thank you for being here. I want to get to the State of the Union and the impeachment trial in a moment. First, you just heard Senator Lindsey Graham. Your reaction?
Donald Trump does not punt, and particularly he doesn't punt on first down. I mean, this is just not acceptable. We just had the trial of the century, of which he's going to be acquitted. It's already been acquitted, but the formality will take place this week. But he's focused on the crime of the century. The crime of the century is this kind of soft coup that is trying to blunt his presidency and remove him from office. And what President Trump has said from the beginning, this is not about him. This is about the office of the presidency. Trump has been adamant. This can never happen again to any president, whether it's a progressive Democrat or another populist nationalist. You cannot have this happen. And I think with Senator Graham, we're not interested right now in hearing from the Chief of Staff of John Kerry. Lindsey Graham, and I have tremendous respect for him, he guaranteed at the Senate Judiciary Committee, we need to have the whistleblower. We need to have the number.
Now, he talked about the guarantee, but they better get after and deliver, because these senators, leading Republican senators, need to hold up their commitment that they've stated, because it's not going to be done in the House. It's not going to be done with the Democratic leadership in the Senate or the House.
Number two whistleblower. We need to have Adam Schiff as a fact witness. We need Hunter and Joe Biden. I think we need Brennan. We need all of them. And here's the other thing we ought to do. President Trump ought to declassify all these reports. He ought to go back to Rosenstein's, the 40 subpoenas that the House under Devin Nunes forwarded to Rosenstein. He ought to get all of those. He ought to get all of those subpoenas, and all of those people ought to be called to witness. We need an apparatus that's official to go about this to protect the office of the presidency.
Well, this is why I've been so adamant about this for 3 years. It wasn't about President Trump. It was about fairness. It was about being a patriot. Having the top leadership of the FBI and the CIA put their finger on the scale and try to take down candidate Trump and then President Trump. That's why my audience wants accountability.
This happened in the 50s and 60s. This is why we had the Church Commission that looked into activities of the FBI and the CIA.
The Church Commission, I'd forgotten about that. We never taught about that. So this is a repeat of what happened in the 50s and 60s. Interesting.
During the 50s and 60s. This is why you had this whole new structure come up. This needs to be put on trial. It needs to be put on trial for the American people. President Trump is right. It is the crime of the century, and we can't cover it up. And we don't need to go to the House Foreign. It's not a foreign affairs issue. It should be Senate Judiciary, and we got to get Senate Judiciary. Here's the reason: Nancy Pelosi and these people are not going to stop. The formal acquittal vote on Wednesday is just the curtain coming down on one act. They're going to continue on. They're going to try to subpoena John Bolton in the House. They want to get his notes. And my point is,
so you don't think this is going to end anytime
soon? It's not going to end. Listen, this ties back to what's happening in Iowa. There's no heat on any of those. There's no personalities out there that can beat the president. The policies are so radical, so they can't run on personalities. They don't have the policies. They must destroy Trump. Nancy Pelosi from day one understands to get back the White House, they must destroy Trump. And the way they're going to use it is use these fake hearings. This is not going to stop.
The purpose is to get back the White House and destroy Trump.
They're going to subpoena more people. They're going to leak more information. And this is why I don't mind getting John Bolton as a witness. Let's cross-examine him. Let's get in his notes and cross-examine him about that. Let's get, I don't mind Mick Mulvaney or the OMB people, or all the emails. Let's get it up there in full daylight. President Trump's best days on this is the first Saturday and the Monday when he came up. Jesse Waters, who watches this better than anybody, did an 8-minute open on his show last Saturday night. And he says, I do this for a living. I learned so much. When you had Sekulow, and you had Pam Bondi, and you had Cipollone and Raskin and all those people, you know, Atticus came up, Philbin came up. That laid out President Trump's case so perfectly. People said, hey, I understand it now. This is what we need to do. And Lindsey Graham has committed. I think he promised the American people he's going to do this.
Well, look, I mean, the impeachment trial had the legal team make the case for the president, but you wanted to see more. I mean, we've been hearing about collusion and all of these so-called bad things that the president did now for 3 years. So the critics of the president keep on going and going and talking about it over and over again.
In the format that they agreed to for the trial, I think the lawyers did a fantastic job, and that's where you could see the air come out of the opposition party media as soon as it happened. I would have rather they had gone for all 24 hours, wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, like the Democrats. Take all the time you can. When you lay it out and connect the dots and the interactions of these, you start to see the president's totally innocent. That's why I thought quite powerful. But in that, it dealt with a very narrow part of this case. That's what I'm saying. Trump's right. It is the crime of the century. There was attempted coup here. That's what has to come out. And you shouldn't have to depend upon conservative media to do that. The media, let's use the official apparatus of what the frame is set up. Let's have the Senate Judiciary Committee, and we need to bring the whistleblower. We need to bring Adam Schiff as a fact witness. We need the second whistleblower.
Yeah.
We need the entire apparatus. We need their phone records, their text messages, and we need to have them up there addressing the American people.
For some reason,
I'm going to let it go at that. That's good enough for me. Like I said, Steve Bannon talks about this stuff in a lot smarter way than a lot of people. We're going to let it go at that. I hope they do get it there. I hope Lindsey Graham does keep his commitment. We'll see. The problem with our Republicans is they're not united enough, and secondly, they're too soft. Again, this is Roger Martin, Village, Montana. Good day.